Welcome to another DK Custom Products video. I'm Dwayne and this is Kevin. And today we're going to talk about Jamie and Tom from JNT V-Twin Repair and Mobile Dyno Service.
So Jamie and Tom from JNT came out to DK Custom Products on the 16th, 17th, and 18th of December. And we did over 300 dyno runs with their mobile dyno.
Yeah.
And we want to just give you a little introduction to Jamie. You may want to use his services, but definitely see what he's all about.
Yeah, before we get into our sit down with Jamie, we'd appreciate if you guys would like, comment, and subscribe. Jamie is actually one of very few master tuners in the area.
I think he's the only one in the area.
He's the only in North Mississippi where we're located. And we got a chance to sit down with him and, he shared some of his knowledge.
So here he is backing up the dyno trailer into our parking lot and unloading the 2021 M8, which we're going to have a couple, several videos on in the future to find out what's going on with the 2021 Milwaukee 8 ECM, but that's for another video. Once we got set up, we had an entire list of different parts we wanted to test on different bikes, and he was very, very patient with us. And over like I said, over a course of 2 days, over 300 dyno pulls, and then the third day, dyno pulls for everyone who came up, including a little Honda 50 and a dirt bike. I forget if it was a Kawasaki or something.
Yeah, and there's a lot that goes into doing these dyno runs. It's not just pull the bike up there, strap it down, and run it. A lot of times, Jamie was helping us out with swapping parts out, drilling and tapping head pipes so he can get an accurate air-fuel ratio reading. It's just a lot of running around he did for us over the course of 3 days, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah. So here, I sat down and talked with him a little bit, and let's listen to that right now. So Jamie, why don't you tell us about your JNT
V-Twin and mobile dyno.
V-Twin and mobile dyno, formerly known as CycleTherapy.
Yes, sir.
So let us know what you do.
We do everything V-Twin, Harley Indian, Victory. We do tuning. That's our performance work, and tuning is our bread and butter. We are venturing into fixing the high-speed wobble issue that Harleys have. We have just purchased an alignment system. We will be the only shop within 500 miles to have this system, and I think there's only 12 other shops in the country that have this. So we're excited to have that because that's kind of a personal thing to me. Being able to get rid of this high-speed wobble, especially when you start making performance or you don't want to run the factory Harley tire.
So when I was asking you yesterday, on the pre-09 bikes, they all had a bad tendency to wobble.
Yes.
So
it's all alignment issues.
It'll get rid of the wobble on those?
Yes.
And then you were saying on high-power 09 and later bikes that have the beefier swing arm, they still have?
Yes, and what it is even though it's a beefier setup, it's still all rubber. So when you start making more power, the torque wants to pull everything to one side, which gets your front and back wheel out of alignment, and that creates your wobble.
And then this tool that you bought, is it laser?
It's all laser, and it can also check wreck bikes for frame damage. The people that want to cut their necks and do their 30 or 32 or 34-inch wheels, if they develop a wobble, we can tell them if their neck was welded on crooked.
From the factory?
From the factory or from whoever did it.
So over the years, over the decades, I've heard of people who've had bad wobbles. They've done everything they could. They've replaced the bushing. They've tried to get it fixed. And in the end, it was just tough luck. But you're saying with this machine, they could actually get their frame replaced?
Yes.
Under warranty?
Under warranty or under insurance. Because, face it, some of the potholes we see, you might not see the damage, but you could hit a pothole hard enough to twist a frame. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what services JNT offers. It's going to be very interesting. At one point, I'm going to bring in a bike and have it
put on that laser alignment just to see
Yeah.
how it works, and I don't have any wobble issues, but you know, to see if I'm out of alignment at all or not. But now we're going into the dyno trailer, and he's going to show us what goes on inside the dyno trailer.
We've tested 69 different products in the last 2 days with somewhere around 230 dyno pulls. Just testing products for DK Customs and doing a few other things. But yeah, this is where the magic happens. We can make power in the shop, but power is no good if you can't put it into the bike. You can't make the bike perform well, throttle response. But you know, when the rider complains about heat, they complain about performance. We've seen the performance level on the dyno. Not to mention, we know that they start pulling timing out at 270 degrees. We proved that. And when they're running lean, guess what they're doing? They're running hot. So in city traffic, it's really easy to get one up to 270 degrees, and now it starts pulling more power out.
So as Kevin and I have said many times in the past, you know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to find someone that knows what they're doing when it comes to tuning a bike. As you can see, there's a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of buttons, a lot of switches, and you have to know what you're doing to adequately tune one of these bikes. And Jamie, of course, is a master tuner. He can do it. The same can't be said for every tuning tech out there.
Right, right. And he's a guy who I would feel comfortable letting tune my bike. And in fact, he did tune your bike.
He did, yeah, and got pretty good results out of it.
So we're looking at a chart right now. This is your 2018 Deluxe. The red line shows what your bike was running with a Power Vision can tune, with some Vance & Hines pipes and Thunder Torque inserts in it, and with an 828 air cleaner, which are very respectable numbers. But then he spent about an hour using the Power Vision and the dyno to tune the bike. This is not a full tune. This was, well,
right.
The time between the runs was, the first run was at 422, and then he did some tuning on the dyno, and the second run was at 514.
And so in less than an hour, it went from 81.5 to 84.5 max power. So not bad. And then torque, that's where it really stood out, went from 98.38 to 107.
Wow, almost 10 foot-pounds of torque from less than an hour of tuning from Jamie. So he's a guy who I would trust with my bike. You trusted him with your bike. And here's how you can get a hold of him.
The best way to get a hold of me is to call me, 901-584-5760. Or they can send us an email at motorcycletherapy@yahoo.com. That's the two easiest ways, or you can text me at that number as well. And we do out-of-town stuff. We will come to you to tune, especially if you can line up enough work. You know, if you've got 4 or 5 buddies that want to get their bikes tuned, we'll come to you.
So you're based in Memphis.
We're based out of North Mississippi in Memphis.
And how far of a range will you go?
Depending on how many bikes. I've got a shop in Delaware right now that I told him if he could get 10 bikes together, we'd come up.
Wow.
So, and he's working on that for the spring. So it just really depends. I mean, if I got to go to California, we're going to need a lot of bikes, and we're probably not going to go to California. We're going to go
California.
We're going to go just to the edge of California.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, within, I would say a 500-mile radius, I would probably do if we could line up 5 bikes. And then outside that, I would really like to see 10.
Well, man, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you being here.
I appreciate it. This has been a learning experience for us this week. You know, I enjoy being part of product testing because as a tuner and a builder, I like to know what's working, what's worth it, what's not.
This was, of course, our very first open house event, happened last month. December, we hope to do it again this year and every year going forward. We hope to have Jamie back at every one of those events.
Yeah, and warmer weather.
Yeah, warmer weather.
You all ride safe out there.